DeAndre Hopkins 6 games for violating performance-enhancing drug policy. He played 10 last season. Now, Arizona Key 8-2 with him, 3-5 without him, including the playoffs. His statement was this, not like in, as I said, like in baseball, you got to do a mea culpa, appear before Congress, say you're so sorry, do it. You got to really be penitent. In football, see you week 7. That was his message. Like, people don't even care.
Well, it's different though, man.
Okay.
Them dudes was taking steroids and really benefiting from it. He could have been taking some over-the-counter stuff that had some banned substance in it that he didn't know. So it's a little bit different in football than it is in baseball. A little bit different, Max.
I mean,
a little bit. Just a little bit.
I'll read the whole statement, but, like, it's what do guys always say when they get caught? I took something, I didn't know it was in there. Like, that doesn't wash. This is
well,
DeAndre.
You can look at DeAndre Hopkins though, Max,
yeah.
and I'm not in his defense and his argument. I'm in the defense of my sport. You can look at him and his body and tell that ain't the same thing that Barry Bonds and them other dudes was on. You can just look at him and tell.
Well, but also, that stuff's gotten more sophisticated, microdosing, all that. But here's his whole statement. Let me read the whole statement. In my 10-year NFL career, I've never tested positive for using performance-enhancing drugs. To learn that my November test came back with trace elements of a banned substance, I was confused and shocked. I'm very mindful of what I put in my body, and I was always taking a holistic approach, so I'm working with my team to investigate how this could have happened. But even as careful as I have been, clearly I wasn't careful enough. For that, I apologize to Cardinals fans, my teammates, and the entire Cardinals organization. I never want to let my team down. I fully intend to get to the bottom of this. As soon as I have more information, I will share it. I could get to the bottom of it. You took some stuff.
As soon as you said that, I said, "Oh goodness!"
But that's gonna work. People aren't gonna really care.
That's the crazy thing, and it has nothing to do with I played a while ago and they play now. It's different now. It's nothing to do with that. Why are you putting stuff in your body, man? Your career gonna end when it ends. Drink water every now and then, some Gatorade, lift some damn weights and run. I don't get it.
Oh, I get it.
I'm with you.
I get it. If I was in the league,
Jay,
I would take stuff. Hell
Key,
yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't.
I played 11 years at the highest level and performed at a high.
You're 6'4". You were a freak.
It
Jay,
doesn't matter.
Jay, you were a 6'2", number 2 pick in the draft. You're a freak.
These
so
guys do not
D-Hop is a
matter.
freak. D-Hop is a freak.
Like, I'm
Maybe not like y'all.
No, man.
Oh,
I don't need no creatine. I just don't. I never subscribed to that as a player at all.
Well, creatine is fine. There's no ban on creatine.
But my whole point, Max, is if it ain't coming out the faucet or if it ain't in my cooler, I ain't putting it in my body. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for no special vitamins that some nutritionist done came up with and told me it's going to help me recover. You know what's going to help me recover? Get my ass in shape. That's going to help me recover.
But see, the question I have now, guys, is for the Cardinals, who's going to help them recover? Because I think this is a massive, massive loss. Just look at Kyler Murray's QBR when he's on the field as opposed to when Hopkins is off the field. When Hopkins is on the field, it's at 62. When he's off the field, it's at 46. His completion percentage when he's on the field, 72%. When he's off the field, 65%. Yards per attempt, 8.8 yards per attempt when he's on the field, 6.6 when he's off. So I get the move that they brought Hollywood Brown. But, Key, we've been talking about Hollywood Brown being a number 1 wide receiver option for a while. That was the whole conversation regarding with him with the Ravens and that system. And now I'm wondering about, is this team going to make the playoffs? And it puts so much more pressure on Kyler Murray to do it without his number 1 target on the field.
Well, we saw last year when DeAndre Hopkins left the lineup what this team looked like. We've seen in the past when he's been out what the Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson looked like. So clearly he is a key figure to what they do offensively. Bringing Hollywood Brown in, yes, it eases a little bit of the pain, but at the same time, it's not the same as having DeAndre Hopkins. Yes, Hollywood Brown will be very familiar with the system and what they run in the air raid because he had it at Oklahoma. Him and Kyler Murray played 2 years at the university together. It's a little bit different in the pros. Now he has to slide into a different role alongside A.J. Green. I think Hollywood Brown will still be fantastic and do some wonderful things.
In a weird way, the dividends this pays could be that they are better at the end of the season than they've been recently because they're a little deeper at receiver, right?
No,
maybe that
they're
makes it a
not
little different.
deep.
They're not deeper, yeah.
No, they're not deep.
Well, Key,
Why?
they
'Cause you're going
drafted
to come back and you're going to have two guys, a real number
You
one.
got
in
you got
DeAndre.
you got AJ Green at the end of his career. You got DeAndre Hopkins who can perform
And he'll
in
be
in
rested.
training camp as well as in preseason, but can't play in the regular season. You got Hollywood Brown, but you got a guy gonna miss six weeks
No,
of
that's what I'm saying.
football.
He's going to be rested by the end of the season. DeAndre's a real number one. And then Hollywood Brown is a dude who takes the lid off. And so you'll have both those guys in the back half of the year. Maybe they're a little fresher.
Do we
But
trust that Cliff Kingsbury, A, is going to keep them in the playoff hunt until Hopkins gets back, and B,
No.
Pretty fast.
and B,
But see-
can make adjustments at that point in the season when he does get Hopkins back so they don't falter
No,
at the end of the
I
season
don't.
like
Key,
the way
Key,
they've
hear me
done?
on,
No, I
hear
do
me on
not
this
trust
adjustment,
him.
Key. Could they go more tight end sets, right? 2 tight end sets. Like they drafted Trey McBride. Can they have him and Zach Ertz and go like a little bit format-wise, a different style than what they've been doing?
I don't know Cliff Kingsbury background other than the air raid, so you would have to wait and see what he could do in terms of making adjustments. I just think that when you look at missing players like DeAndre Hopkins, it's certainly going to affect what they do in terms of the scheme. Now, if you go back to last year and you saw when he was out of the lineup, what they look like. I mean, they were not a very good
lost a lot.
football team on the offensive side of the ball. And he won't be in the lineup. I know they start fast, but he was in the lineup when they started fast. So it's a big difference. And Jay, you say, well, they're paying Cliff all this money and they're gonna give all this money to Kyler Murray. That's true, but it's not Kyler Murray's fault. It won't be Kyler Murray's fault that DeAndre Hopkins got suspended.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.